This is officially my first Flosstube. It's Flosstube number 1, and today is March 21st, 2023. And hopefully I can get a few of these done. Quick intro. My name is Birgit. I am the owner at the Wishing Thorn sampler cross-stitch store. I have been stitching since first grade. Then Germany, I'm from Germany, so it is mandatory, or at least when I was in school still there, it was mandatory that you had needlework all the way. I did it, we had it up into 10th grade. So it was a little more, it was like knitting, different types of needleworks we were taught, sewing, you know, basics of sewing. So I guess it was in a way a little bit on home economics, but cooking and that was not involved. It was just literally anything with the needle or needles, crochet hooks. It's been on and off. So way back in the 80s, I worked in a stitching store when we lived in Florida. It was absolutely my favorite place. The community was so wonderful, and the stash building opportunities were horrible. I never brought home a paycheck, but hey, I had really good stuff in my stash. So I worked there while my first husband, we were stationed in Florida for, I think, 2 or 3 years at that time. It was in the 80s. And when I left, we were originally going to open up a brick and mortar stitching store up here in Connecticut. So he has family, or still has family in Connecticut and Massachusetts, but things just didn't work out. So that was all put on the chopping block. So anyways, now, finally, after all these years, 40, 50 years, it's finally came through fruition. And I just love it. The only thing is that any business owner will tell you, if you're turning your hobby into your business, there's going to be less time for it. And that is truly the case. Between charting and running the business, there is very little time to stitch anymore. I actually have to make an effort to say, okay, we're shutting things down, no orders, I'm going to go sit down and stitch. But other than that, I love what I do. I wouldn't want to trade it for the world. And I have an extremely supportive husband that is all for it. As you can see, he wrote my last blog for me. I said, here's the stuff. This is what you need to tell him, go write. So he did very well with that. I really love it. So enough about me. I'm going to pause the video and flip everything around, and we're going to start with some of the stuff. I have plans for showing you some older stuff from my earlier years that sort of shows a little bit the sampler progression, because I didn't always just stitch sampler. There's a ton of stuff that I need to save for another video. Then I want to show a couple of old samplers. I have a few whips. I got a little bit of haul. Not like you guys. I mean, mine is mostly pertaining to fabrics and a few practical things that I need, but that's about it. Oh, one more thing before I forget. My videos are probably not going to be that long, because I really don't know how some people can do a YouTube for an hour plus, but I don't think mine's going to be that long. So, hey, it is what it is. Maybe one day I'll get better at it. They can be longer. But for now, that's it. I'm going to flip the camera and we'll start with some of the fun stuff. I'm going to pause this and we'll be good. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to show you one of my first whips. This is a 30 to 40-year-old whip. I'm still learning to get things into the camera properly, but this is from, hold on, I don't want to show you the chart, but boy, we did charts kind of funky back in the day. This is the Ann Scott sampler from 1675, And what intrigued me on this one way back when I bought it was that it was stitched. This was it. These were the colors. So there was like one tiny smidgen of red up there, but everything else was just 3 colors. And I thought it would be a great portable project, which it is. But it's been, you know, I've recently picked up and did this row, but it's been a long time. This was probably 80s, early 90s. So let me just unroll some of this. So the top is really, really, really pretty. I love it so much. So this is where I am. So there is still a lot to go. I'm going to see if holding this up here a little. I'm learning, sorry. So you can see some of these, whoa, out of focus, but there. Like this little area here is so much fun, and then the little stitches here. And I mean, it is so involved, and it is, in my opinion, such a cool sampler. And let me see, what did they say? It's, yes, it is a typical. It's 7 by 7 inch on 35 count. I do not think I'm working on 35 count. I can't remember what I'm stitching out. Maybe I am. It's 7 inches wide by 26 high. It is recommended for the more advanced needleworker. I think with their instructions, it was actually pretty good, because I didn't consider myself that advanced back then with samplers. I'm usually diving in and giving it a whirl, and usually instructions are pretty good. So that is this whip. I got more, yay. Probably I'm the queen of whips. No, I'm not. I know there's others out there who have more. I've watched those floss tubes. So let me put this over to the side. And then, oh, sorry for the blank screen. So I'm also working on one of the Tyndale sisters. This is Elizabeth. So I want to get her stitched so that there is actually current models for both of them. I mean, the sampler's out already, and most of the time everybody does their own thing anyways, but I'm stitching it. Oh, let's see, they're way bright, aren't they? Let's go like so. That might be better. Ginny Thompson flower thread. I love it. They're so good. They ship so fast, and they're so nice over there. So I just got a little bit done. I usually work on this, a couple of hours, maybe a week. That's about all I can muster up right now. So that's this one that I'm actively stitching on. I have inactive whips. I'm going to show you some of those too. But where did... Oh, here she is. And this, sorry for the blank screens. This is, what was her name? Shoot. It is, let me show you the original. Elizabeth Hepper. So this is Elizabeth Hepper. She's from 1822. And I'm working on the model. You can see this was professionally framed. Already when I bought it, but you can see they've done a really nice job, and I really don't want to open it because they did actually leave enough space between the glass. From what I've been told, it's museum glass, but I still may have to open it because it seems to be coming loose right here, and I don't know what's going on. So, and I don't know if you can see that, it's getting wobbly in there. So I want to just, fix it up a little bit. But she is such a cute little sampler. So I'm working on the model for that one. And Let me make sure that this does not fall down. Put it in a safe place. And I'm just using DMC for this. It's kind of simple, easy. Those rows up there are kind of monotonous though. It's like, ugh. As you can tell, I did not get all the way across yet. I still have to go back up there and fill that in. So that is that. Whip. Let me grab, not leave you with a blank screen. And then here come some of my other whips that are on pause and have been on pause for, I'm not going to say, but a couple of decades. This is so cute. And I am trying to remember. See, smart me, I'm learning. I should have grabbed the pattern so I could have told you what it is. So this was, it is a bunch of different leaflets, and you can either stitch each little section on its own, or you can make it, bring it together to make a really, really big sampler. And this is, back in the days, I guess, when I was cool with pastels, I would have done probably a little bit darker now, but I still think this is such a charming sampler. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, you guys will know. If not, I'll look it up and put it in the details down below. So I just want to hold this up here so you can see. So these are little, this is done with ribbon right here. It's not floss. And look at that big old eye that guy has. I love it. And then beads right here for the tail, and then pretty satin stitches. So, and let me see what's going on up here. Birdhouse. Oh, so adorable. I need to put, the more I'm looking at this now, the more this is going to come on the forefront. This is just so cute. That tree, love it. And then that is so springy. This is actually the season. Okay, I made up my mind. This is going in the active pile. This is just so lovely. Oh, that means I'm going to have to show you my progress on the next one. Accountability. Well, leave that here while I grab the next stuff. Well, this is a whole nother ball of wax, and this one, oh, don't know. Let me go grab, I think I have that pattern. That was, I think, Emmy Bishop. Yes. This next one coming up is Rose Patch, Emmy Bishop embellishments, and that is a pattern. As you can see, it's a whole book, and the instructions are fantastic. And I am most of the way done, but then just sort of left it. So I need to pick this up again because this was just such a stunning sampler. But it's definitely colors of the 80s and 90s. Everything was mauve and that green, but it's still so pretty. There's the alphabet. It's not ironed, but sorry. This is also so pretty right here. Oh, that's Queen Stitches and some Smyrnas, some eyelets. And there's even chain stitch in there. And then beads. This was something else. I remember this is like the buttonhole where you do a bunch of wraps. This was definitely not for the faint of heart. Of Female Arts in, oh my goodness, I can't read it. Of Female Arts. I'm gonna have to, there's What does that say? I can't read it. I'll write it. Something in ornament, there's no device, affords adorning half so nice. I can't read this word up here. Right there. Of female arts in whatever. Okay, I'll get to it. Then, yes, cut work. I mean, she did an incredible job with this design. I just love it. Let me see if that's pulled work. So pretty. So much attention to detail. So I am finished this part, and I have the hardanger part to go, which is actually not that much. Hardanger goes pretty fast, so I don't mind that at all, but it's definitely not on the to-do now list. And next, I don't even know where the pattern is or where I got this from. I actually think this was from a magazine. And I was brave back then. So this was, I think this is done on 40 count. And as you can see, the over one section is where I guess I said I had enough. So, but I have to find, I don't even know where this is from. Maybe one of you guys will know. But it was a cute sampler that I'm not quite willing to give up on. I mean, it's got pretty, pretty, pretty things on it. Nice border. Don't know if that's going to go all the way around. It's going to be kind of tricky to stitch if I can't remember where it's from. I'm thinking maybe from one of the Sampler and Antiques needlework magazines. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. So that is it for the temporary on hold whips. So now let's, I just want to show you a quick book that is probably my most favorite. A lot of you may have it. And it is, of course, by Darlene Osteen. And she is my favorite sampler designer from the time. Now there are so many others. I love them too. There is gorgeous stitching, impeccable instructions. I mean, if you ever needed to know how to do certain stitches, this is the book. Let me just go to the index. I don't want to show you the patterns. And I love that it's a ring binder. So there's, Eileen Bennett has a little, what I call Stitch Bible, but this goes into so much detail with the stuff. I think Montenegrin stitch. I was just looking at that the other day. Let me see, what page is that? And I think that sampler in here is well worth stitching, so I'm going to have to, 21. So that was a stitch. She literally, I think 4 pages she donated to that. So, yes, Montenegrin stitch, here, 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 here. So, ooh, pretty close up. In use. What is this? Reproduction of something. But anyways, if you can find this book, I don't know. It's probably still available. I know, I think it was last year that she passed away. But I think her stuff may be still, you know, definitely on the secondary market. So that is a really good book, which brings me to early samplers. So this is one of the first ones that I started, and this was Darlene Osteen designing this, and I think this was a Just Cross Stitch magazine, and since this is from 1989, yes, still has my first marriage name on it. And I stitched on Ada. Oh my God, but that's so cool. And it still looks so good, but that's how it, you know, started off for me. with the samplers. You know, I found some, like so many, still always tell me they would love to, it's just easier for them to stitch on Aida, and I can understand that. And even, you know, with the satin stitches and everything, it came out so pretty. Funky colors. Not sure if I would have chosen them today, but we're talking 89, so it's been a while. And that one progressed. There's a few others in between, but then it progressed into this one. And if I'm not mistaken, this also is, I have to turn this, hold on. I'm not able to show you all the angles. No, that way. There we go. The little house. And let's pull this up a little so that it's not so close, so that we can see more. There we go. Sorry for the wobbling. I'm learning. So, you know, it has the houses, and it's on linen. Well, no, not linen yet. I think I'm on even weave with this. Oh, you guys, you're going to get seasick. I know it. It's got two houses. See, right there at the bottom. And I'm trying to see when I stitched this. Oh, 1820. Oh, this was, but usually I put my initials somewhere. I guess I did not. So this is Elizabeth Brown's sampler. November 5, 1829. So this probably was my first real reproduction sampler. And I think this also may have been from a magazine and Darlene Osteen, if I'm not mistaken. And then it gets a little different. And this one's going to be really hard. I know most of you. I think Kathy in Linen and Scraps mentioned something a couple of episodes ago about this sampler, and I said, oh yeah, I stitched that too. So here it is. Look at the tiny over one deer. Oh my goodness. Yeah, those were the days. I think I did this on 36 count. So it has a little bit of everything in it. Pulled work and such. And I stitched this in 1992. Oh, and I was in Germany at the time. So we were stationed back in Germany in 92. Well, that's a good reference to have. And there are acorns and the birds. Really, this one taught me a lot too at the time. There's so many good things in here. And let me move these over so they don't get messed up. Put them under the table. And what's next? Oh yeah, here. So this is 1997. So back in the day, when we first started stitching with friends, there was no real internet yet. No, not a lot of it. Nothing like these days. And we were talking to each other back in the day, and it was called FidoNet. So you downloaded messages, you typed your email, and loaded them back up, and it took forever. And then, you know, people replied back to all, and we ended up doing a round robin for Shepherd's Push patterns. And this one I ended up making into a bell pull, and each little section was stitched by a different person. A lot of them were in Florida because that's where I was living. So this one was Sherry in Florida, Karen. Then there is Laura in Ohio. New Jersey, Dillis. Then Linda in Minnesota. Nancy in M.O., Missouri. And Dee in Texas. Georgia. Can't read the name. Donna in Florida, and I did the top little part. So And these were all, you know, everybody, the theme was stitch one of your favorite shepherd's bush sections, and it sort of had to look good. And you actually trusted people with your items, you know, with your stitching, with your fabric, with your floss, because you sent everything along and they just, you know, stitched on there for you. So it's really, I don't know if I'd do that these days. I'd have to really, you know, trust the people and know them to do this again. But this was a lot of fun. There's so many pretty things and so many fond memories. And this was Sally stitched this, Sally Ream. She passed away also. She was the owner of the stitching store I worked in Florida. So it's got special memory. I do miss her. She was always the one that encouraged me to do the stitching store. So that's really sweet with this. And let's see what I have. Oh, I want to show you my pillows. And from a long time ago, how cute is that? It's one of those, oh wow, faded. Well, of course, because this is always out. This usually hangs in the kitchen. This could probably use a good wash. Be of good cheer. And then this is a pattern from the Freebie Vault. And so pretty. And this is by the same person who I want to finish that other sampler with the rabbits. So they did this one, is a pattern from them too. So real cute. Then this is Mon Coeur, my heart. So pretty. And there is LZ, finish into a pillow, because the real thing is like giant, and I kept it in the box. So it's nice and safe. This is a 1913 pattern. What's else in there? Spoon. A bunch of old hoops. Oh, my Salween pillow with the little crow and the basket full of, yeah, these are just all a bunch of old hoops and some nice wool fabric that I want to use as a back for something. Not sure yet. So that's where these guys live for now anyways. And some of the things that were haul. Oh, sorry. Whoops. So this is one of the samplers that is going to come out in hopefully the end of this month. I still have a few days. It's Eliza Jane Smyth. Right here, let me hold this up so you can see. And the interesting thing, what she did, so things are stitched here with silk, or yeah, that's pretty enough to be silk. But then she switched to wool, and it gives it this really lovely raised effect. And she's done that throughout. So some sections are done in wool, others in silk. And there's a couple of places where she tried to combine, like here. Some of it's wool, like the red is wool, but the rest is thread. And originally I was like, oh, this is going to be so hard to see, because you think, you know, it's very hard to chart because it's faded. But I didn't know what it was, the color, till I turned it around. When I opened it up, look at that. It's this pretty, pretty, pretty soft blue. So I'm definitely going to use that blue for charting. And I'm not going to go wild with the colors of this. This is a bit too loud. I prefer the soft muted in the front. So that is almost complete. So it's not going to be too much longer, maybe a week and a half before that is ready to go. And let's see what else we have. Let me move this over. Oh, let's go to all the things, the holly stuff. So I got this, and I was smart, from Needlework Notions on Etsy, Diane. And it was the last one. Right now she has nothing. She sold everything. It's all gone. And it's this cute little, came with this little floss ring. Precious, precious, precious. And I'm still lift this in. This is for, so it won't get folded. But it's this really cute little project bag. I love it. And it's very roomy. I mean, fits the book. So you could put quite a few things in there. It's really, really, really cute. So that's one. So let me move that over. Then this is mostly fabric that I got. And I'm just picked a few favorites right now. So this one is from number 12 Stitch Go. And this is such a pretty spring color. It's French Pear, 36 count. But look at the colors of this. And it ships so quick. You know, when I first, because I think she's in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost certain she's in Australia. And I was like, it's going to take forever. It was here in no time. I mean, it is such a pretty green, soft. And I have plans for this one. It's going to be for one of my original samplers. So it's very, very, very pretty. I love it. Then this is going to be glary. But this is like a perfect one. And I got that also on Etsy from Kingsland Needle Art. They have an Etsy store, Kingsland Needle Art, Etsy.com. And this is Dunes, Whim. And look at this. I used some of it already. But look at that. Is that not gorgeous? It is. And that is, when I'm looking in the camera here, I can see that is a pretty accurate. It's a deep mustardy yellow. It is just so scrumptious. I love it. And then this is also from Fiber on a Whim. And I think this is from the same people. Yep, also from Kingsland. This is called Wheat. So that other one was called Dunes from Fiber on a Whim. Dunes, it's a shade. When you compare them, they're like slightly darker. But sometimes, you know, the samplers we get for reproduction, they have these yellowing colors. And you try to find something. So I picked these two to compare. And either one of them would make like some really awesome, you know, fabric for reproduction. And this is Wheat. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So now I can get more of this. These were more or less, I got them big enough to put something on, but they were more like a scouting trip to see if the fabric will do for what I want. And it's absolutely perfect. Then another store I bought from is To Die For Fabrics. They're also on Etsy. I'm going to link all their stores when I'm done and putting this out. So, and this is 36 count. And she does a really, really nice job. I don't know what the name is though. Shell Creek? Is that the name? Could be. Would be matching. So this is really pale. Pale, pale, pale. On her site, she lists her fabric with the DMC colors in the pictures. So I think that's really smart because, you know, it gives you a true representation of what you're actually getting. So this is one of them. Very pretty. This is 36 count. Then this is a little more when you hold them next to each other. So this is a blush, I would call it. This is probably, you know, really pale, pale, pale purple. And That's also just, I like them when they're not like too overwhelmingly modeled. But that's not true for this one. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I love those colors. I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on here. But it has to be something very simple because this is something where the fabric takes center stage. I mean, if you put like a busy pattern on here, it's going to compete with each other. So it has to be something really, really, really simple. I just love this. Whatever she did here, she did really cool. And this is pewter green. I also did 36 count. Boy, I must really think I'm brave doing all this 36 count. It's getting harder and harder at my age. This is really pretty too, called Ash and Tan. Same store, To Die For fabrics. So this is also a really pretty model, but that is, you know, busy, but it's not color-wise too busy. So a lot could be done with this. And that brings me, before I go to my Cedar Creek ones. Oh, those are also gorgeous, and she packs them so pretty too. But there is one more. So I got this kit, and I think I also bought that at Kingsland. No, this was Wizard something or another. I have to link that, but it is RTO, if that means anything. Cross stitch kit for fun. And they sent it with the Ada cloth and the pattern, and I just like the flowers and the grass. And I wanted to stitch this, but this is a full coverage piece, which I am not doing. And the whole plan for me was to find a pretty blue fabric that looks like blue sky that I could, you know, use for this. So I got two of these pretty overdyed blues. One's 28 count, one's 36 count. And these are the floss colors. And it is going to be really, 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 really pretty. I'm not sure which one to choose. I mean, I can stitch both of them. This would be kind of cool because it would be smaller. So, did they say how big this is? No, they don't. It's like, please don't make me count. They're going to make me count. Okay, well, I'm not there yet. So I don't know what the stitch count is on there. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. 29, no, that's not stitch count. 29 by 20 centimeters. Alexa, 20 centimeters is how many inches?
I don't know that.
Oh, you're no help. 20 centimeters is about this much. So that is actually fairly small. 29 centimeters is close to a foot. So, and they're both not crazily modeled, so I like that. So this does have a pretty section for sky, and it's going to be so pretty. So that's going to be a start for me. Yay. And this one is just slightly paler. That has more, I guess, of a overcast day feel. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, which one I should pick. I can stitch on either, but these are really cool too. So she does a really nice job. She hems them all, you know, sews around them. So, and that is To Die For Fiber Fabrics, and she is in Florida. So, and these are my fabrics from Cedar Creek. Oh, they're also so scrumptious and so delicious. This is Tephra 30. I think I got them almost all 32 count. I got one that was a higher count, but so look at this. How pretty is this? So, so lovely. This is a peachy. It looks more yellow, but it's actually definitely a peachy color. Very pretty. Love it. Got a nice big fat chunk of fabric. I don't want to cut into these. They're just, everything's so pretty about them. Don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet, but that just screams tree to me. boreal. I wonder why. It is, oh, I can see all sorts of beautiful stuff on here. Yeah, this is gorgeous. She does such a beautiful, beautiful job with her fabrics. So, let me see, do I still have her card? Oh no, I just have a message. Sorry, I don't know what I did with it. Is it on the front? Yes, it is. Let me just hold that up, but I'll also put her store in the notes. And oh, this is like, I just want to eat this. This is so pretty. Oh. I have no idea what I would stitch on it. So this is, originally I thought it might work for Anna Olstada. Let me just grab this. But it is a bit too browny red for me. So this is actually a better. So these are the colors from Anna. And this is, I think it's from Fiber Uno. It's Aztec is the color name of this red. And it's a bit more, that hurts my eyes. This goes well together. So all of these look so pretty on here. So that is going to also be at some point stitched as a second model. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or if I'm going to give it to one of my stitchers, but I think I would actually want to stitch this too. It just, if I do it, it's going to take me forever. I am not as swift as I used to be. I mean, I stitched, what was her name? Teresa Winsler's Father Winter. It took me 6 weeks to stitch that beast because I wanted to get it ready to enter in a competition. It was well worth it. Got first place, but I couldn't stitch anything that fast anymore. I just can't. I'm not that speedy. I did it like back then. I stitched hours a day. The kids were little. They were in school. Was all by myself all day. So perfect time to stitch. Albarium, 32 count. And this is really, I don't know, very soft, whatever it is. It's, I wouldn't say gray. It almost reminds me of a white marble. It's very pretty. But this one would be really, really pretty for all of the red samplers, or the blue samplers would really, really look. Let me see, is there a blue one here? That, like this color right here. Is that blue? I can't tell. It's a gray blue. Oh, right here. You have a pretty blue. Yeah, see, if I did a blue sampler, I would probably stitch it on this. That is just so crisp and clean looking. And it's not stark white. That's what the beautiful thing is. You know, it's just the perfect, whatever she did, she has a good mix going. There we go. And this is the Cedar Creek haul. I think I have this also. I got in 56 count. I don't know why, because, oh my goodness gracious, it would take me 20 years to stitch something on 56 count, but I'll try. I'm brave. So that is, oh, one more thing I want to show you, because Molly from Linen and Scraps talked about organization. So one thing as a, you know, when I design, that I noticed that is different than when I stitch. Like when I stitched, I had everything by number. It was like all my DMC floss was by number, all my anchor floss by number. I got boxes and boxes of anchor, DMC, the Krynix. I have it all, but it's all sorted by numbers. So what I'm noticing more when I do my own designs is I just go by color. I really don't care what the number is. So things are changing the way I need to have them for me to work. And one of the things was I had all my beads in these little bead containers to keep them, but I really couldn't tell at first glance, you know, what the colors were. So Wendy's Beads and Things, she is on Facebook, and she has also an eBay store. And she has this pack. So these are all Mill Hill beads. I guess she buys them in bulk and then she separates them into however many you want to buy. But she has a sample pack of all of them. And for me, this was, I use beads a lot in my own designs, not so much in the, obviously in the reproduction samplers, but in my own designs. And I wanted a color reference just like I do with my threads. So this worked perfect for me. So she sends you these packets. They're all packaged like this. Come on out. So, and you just get a small amount. If you're doing a small project, this is all you're going to need. But I'm keeping these here like this and just reorder what I need. So here we go. Wendy's Beads and Things. And she is so quick to ship. You just send her a message on Facebook and boom, the beads are in the mail. No waiting. But so I put them, I bought these pages. They're like for coin collectors. I think I got a pack of 20 or something for like just a few dollars on Amazon. And I put a white sheet between because I do want to not have them, you know, on top of each other. I want to have like a shade in between, and I put them in there by number, and I can see where everyone is, what the color is. So if I'm looking, you know, I have this color floss and I want to find a bead, so easy to do. So, and they just live, oh, I have plenty of leftovers. I don't plan on getting that much. Not sure what I'm going to do with those, but anyways, I might put them in my Etsy shop. Oh, speaking of putting in the Etsy shop. So the other thing that happened as I'm starting to design, I have, obviously because I worked at the stitching store, an incredible amount of silk thread, you know, the Soie d'Alger, and I can't use it anymore to design because what I bought back in the 80s is, you know, not the same color, nor even the same style as what you get now. Now they are these luscious, I guess this is also haul, these luscious, you know, little packs. And way back when, they don't look like this anymore. So I think actually the thread itself has changed slightly, the silk. So in order to have an accurate, you know, color reference, if I chart something in silk, I have to use the new color. So I have to, you know, order as I go for projects. So yeah, this is going to be a